Today we're going to make ad hoc beef fry, and I'm about to show you how. So, chopping this very fine is good because it exposes more surface area and ensures that the spiciness is uniformly distributed throughout the dish. Although the trick is doing it in a way where it doesn't take any insane amount of time to do the chopping. So what you actually want to do is slice it into several long strips with a knife that isn't dull, otherwise you can't really cut it. And you should probably have kitchen gloves, as ridiculous as it looks, while you're doing this. Otherwise, you will be sad because your hands will have this weird burning sensation for several hours later, especially if you're handling a lot of finely chopped pieces. So, I guess I'll include the seeds because they actually... you know the seeds are like most of the spiciness, right? Actually, I should put these gloves on. Okay, so actually, one thing when you're cooking the rice is you want to add a little bit of salt. Otherwise, it tastes a little bit basic. For some reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to just nicely chop the onion to a very nice little fine size pieces. So that it just adds, again, because when you're chopping it very fine, you are getting a very... You're increasing the surface area so you get more flavor. It cooks a little bit more uniformly, but it can still lend it some texture depending on how you cook the onion. Okay, so at this point I have I put in a little bit of the seeds and the pepper itself and some of the onion. Most of it's still here. When you're cooking beef, generally you want to do an initial sear and then lower the temperature because it's nice to have a little bit of pink on the inside of the meat. The beef is fairly finely chopped, is cut into fairly small pieces, so it'll take only a few moments to sear. The electric oven is already warmed up. You need to actually do that. This is going to need another 5 or 10 minutes quickly. And then I'm going to switch in a few moments over to a much lower temperature. So right now I just want it seared so it has some great flavor. Okay, that's about enough, so I'm going to lower it down to here. So now I'm cooking in the rest of these wonderful things. So this is going to be at a much lower temperature. It's just to cook the rice a little bit. So notice how the outside, even though it was only, the pan was, I removed it from the hot pan almost immediately after I put the beef in, because it was already warm, the entire surface of the beef, notice the temperature is very low, just enough to sort of warm it up a little bit. The entire surface of all the beef is very nicely seared with like a sort of, like you can see, there's a little bit of burn. It's not charcoal. You can still see that there's a little bit of pink internally. Oh, and the rice is ready. I scoop into here first as a duplicate. I'm adding the rice so that the oil has somewhere to adhere rather than making the vegetables and whatnot very oily. So there are much cleaner ways of doing this, but this works. I'll add a touch of soy sauce. A bed of rice makes a lot of things a lot more savory. Adds this a little bit of salt, and I actually should probably add a teeny bit of honey because sugar and salt make everything tastier. It's just human physiology. So notice again how I'm not cooking at that high a temperature at this point because the beef is already thoroughly cooked and vegetables are safe to eat at any temperature. I'm going to squirt a teeny dollop of honey. mix that in. Now I just need to stir that around. With pretty much any dish you're ever cooking, adding a little bit of sugar and salt will always make it taste better. So notice how I added the vegetables in when the temperature was much lower so that you still have the color, which means that it'll still be crisp. It'll still have most of those things that make vegetables so supposedly healthy. Well, actually healthy. And it also means I won't burn the rice. Burning rice does not smell good. That is not something that is ever up to debate.
All right.
Voila! It'll be in your belly soon.